we just got finished doing session 13 of Dragon Age Ascension. This is our vlog.
Lucky 13. How lucky you guys were during this entire session.
Dark fantasy horror!
10 out of 10. There may be one or two people who may or may not get murdered next session. We'll see.
I have to deal with the PTSD Theoben.
Oh no.
Which,
for this
And
being a
Hawk.
Tuesday, Theo got possessed pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
And he's level 20, so like...
Mm.
By the way, out of character, Park, did you message Hannah, and then Hannah, did you roll a secret save?
Should we tell him, Hawk?
If you want to, you can tell him whatever you want. I'm not saying anything.
Okay. So Hawk, Sam, and me had a conversation before this session to basically talk about the cameo, and he was very particular about not giving us the details of how the session would end, but he
didn't know anything about the Magister side reel.
No, we didn't. He literally, all he said to us was that I need Pasha alone with Daniel. So we were like brainstorming ideas as to how to do it. So we came up with like illusions, or we thought of like cave-ins and stuff like that. And I think I suggested that, Theo is the guardian of Earth. So in theory, he could literally just separate them with the Earth. And so I think Hart came up with the idea that Theoben would imagine like the party was in danger and had to kind of split them off to go to safety. And so we had a system where he would basically write me while session was happening when it was time to do it. So it was kind of just like that. Here's the signal.
Got it. So then, Hark, narratively, because I have a feeling, did the madman use blood magic or chain magic or some sort of to do that to Theoben, or is it just a Theoben PTSD thing?
So you're going to find that each of the Magister side reel has a special ability. And Madman of Zazakel has the ability of spreading madness or illusionary hallucinations.
Oh, that would be interesting.
That is his ability. Do you guys want to talk about the missing Magister side reels? So there are 7. The 7 are the Conductor of Silence, also known as Corypheus, also known as Cepheus Amladaris. There's the Augur of Razakale. There's the Forge Rite of Toth. The Forge Rite of Toth is the person that Daniel Lento just unsealed. That was the Forge Rite of Toth. There's the Appraiser of Andoral. There's the Madman of Zazakel, like I said. Then there's the Architect of Uthumiel. And then the last one is the Watchman of Lusaken, who, by the way, is the final unawakened old god. The 7th old god is the Watchman of Lusaken. Now, I think if this was in Dragon Age Inquisition, there is a codex where it talks about how a bunch of dwarves found in the deep roads, they saw these talking darkspawn, and how one of the talking darkspawn was in an argument with like 2 other darkspawn. I don't remember the details, but there was an argument, and one of those talking darkspawn ate another one of the other darkspawn. That, unfortunately, was Madman of Zazakel eating the Watchman of Lusaken. So the reason why the Watchman of Lusaken is missing is because he got into an argument with the Madman of Zazakel, and Zazakel proceeded to eat him head first.
Nice.
So
the
Madman of Zazakel, if you remember from the reunion session with Cedric and Lucky Jack 20, with Lucky Jack, when you saw the headless priest, that was the Madman of Zazakel's doing.
Okay. Yeah. Damn.
Also, during that whole horror scene, Sam's facial expressions, 10 out of 10.
Yes.
If you go back and watch the session and you watch me and you watch Sam, you will see 2 polar opposites when we are having this.
One is like, scared.
And one is like, yeah.
One scared, the other's praising.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, seriously, Hart. That was dope. I loved it. Yes.
I was trying to figure out who would be a bigger threat than Corypheus, as I'm like, 5 Corypheuses, of course. 5 Corypheuses
Similarly,
is more of a threat.
exponential increase. And the thing is, Corypheus, like, no, it was kind of boring. Like, overall, he's kind
He
of
is
boring.
boring. The
And
other ones I think are more interesting.
yeah, like, oh, so I missed one. So it's Conductor of Silence, Forger of Toth, Appraiser of Andorel, Madman of Zazakiel, Architect of Rthemiel, Watchman of Lysican, and then what was the last one?
The Architect of Uthumiel.
I kind
The
of have a very
architect.
weird.
Do you mean the
I-
Olga?
One, two,
Oh, the Augur. Sorry, the Augur.
yeah,
I have a
Augur
weird
of.
theory.
Augur.
The
I'm a
Augur
very-
of
Razakale.
The Augur of Razakale.
I have a tinfoil hat theory. What if all 5 magisters somehow like are connected to maybe each of us by some?
By chakras.
Yeah, it's funny
Not
that there's
just by-
5 of them and 5 of you.
And
How
they did
interesting
say they
is
were
that?
going to ascend. That was
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
the reason it caught my eye was like, because one of the magisters was in chains. I was like, hold up. I wonder if that might be connected to me. Since hello, chains.
The one of chains is the one that's pertaining to the old god of slaves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder. Let's connect our turn. So
That's the
Yeah.
appraiser of Andorel. Appraiser of Andorel.
So Appraiser of Andorel was chains. The female was the.
The female was the augur. The madman, you know the madman. You know Lento is apparently Corypheus, and the
Wait.
forge right.
Wait, Daniel
Forge
Lento is Corypheus?
Yeah,
Yep.
he is.
Yeah,
So,
Daniel Lento's Corypheus.
Pasha, how do you feel being betrayed?
Pasha is having a moment. Give her 5 minutes, and she
Yep.
will be back.
So 2 things. One, I put in chat, I don't know if Phyllis saw, but I think Sam saw it and was hating me for it. But I put in, I really hope that Daniel dies in front of Pasha before
Yeah.
he can walk up that beach. This is so much better.
I saw that. I
Betrayal.
saw that, Dominic.
I am
Callista
sorry,
will
but
remember this.
you will find that me and Kevin are very much alike in that we love the drama.
So, should we talk about the before the Deep Rose and go with the RP stories we had
Yeah,
at the
let's.
beginning?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I've got one other housekeeping question because Garrison's pretty dead, not coming back. Just forget about him.
We get plate armor.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy was asking about Nazim, right?
Yeah, I was like, could that have happened to Nazim, or was it just going to be one of the 3 people we
Yes.
took?
Yes. So if Cedric decided to give you Nazim, that's what would have happened to Nazim.
So that was
Wow,
like
that'd be so sad.
unpreventable. Had we even done like watch cycles, we would have just lost whoever went in there.
Question.
Yeah.
Well, 2 questions actually. One, if we had not taken a Templar, would it have been another companion that would have died?
Yes, it would have.
Okay.
Yes.
Question number 2. If I had set the alarm spell, would we have been able to fight off the madman? Or at least
Yes.
like go into combat?
Yes, you would have.
God
Whoa.
damn it.
That's why I gave you the alarm spell. Maybe you'll use
Oh
it.
no.
Well, it's funny. Literally, as you said we were going to sleep, I was like, we should set the alarm spell, and I was about to say it, but then you said you wake up and there's someone missing. I was like, well, shit.
Well, I mean, all in all, it's not the worst party member to go missing.
Oh, Leon.
Oh,
Static
Leon.
navigators.
That moment where Leon was happy that Garrison died. Yes. Yeah. Did you miss that, Hark?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It sounds very blood magey of him. Sounds very blood magey of him.
And he collected a vial to,
And he took his
do
blood
things
sample. Yes, I know.
And thus we start seeing the path of the dark side to Leon.
with.
That's if I give him the book back.
True.
That is true.
That's gonna be an interesting conversation.
Oh, the book. Yes,
I'm
the book.
honestly shocked that the book is not already burned. Like, I love Pyrus,
Oh
but
yeah.
he's destined for the cinders.
Well, two things prevented Russo from just ripping up the book right there. One, he couldn't really read it, so it's like, okay, I'm not going to immediately just destroy something I'm not sure about. Then 2, it's like he wants to find out more before he's just like, okay, we got we gotta stop Leon.
We gotta put it in the furnace.
You guys didn't even see my blood pudding recipe.
Oh no!
Sounds like mind control. So
You know, you make the brain into pudding. It's very tasty.
After Kenna and Rosie think I'm not insane for yelling at a book in the middle of a cave.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Either it's the end of Leon, time for Tranquil, or something's going to happen. I have no idea how I'm going to convince both Russo. Well, I guess I could probably convince Rosie, but probably not Kenna. Probably
you have to convince the Guardians, and good luck, because they're
Like, put it this way: like as soon as the word gets back to Cedric, you're screwed. But frankly, Theobin is right here. So at the very least, we're losing a party member, and Theobin's pulling Rosie out. At the very least.
Yeah.
So.
And then maybe a second, because then two of the crows would just be,
Speaking of that, I think this is actually, if Leon were to die next session, somehow, if he were to die, it's not a terrible place to enter in a new character too, because we're about to go to the Darkspawn, so you could have like a new person who's a Grey Warden even, who's been like hunting these guys or something. Maybe someone who like found out about Daniel.
Hark and Sam, so yeah, if that happened. But if that happens.
If that happens, yeah.
Or if you were to die.
Yeah.
Lots of good role plays also in the early stage of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, Pasha.
Thank you, Kenna and Hannah, for coming. And yeah, Pasha.
Pasha, you made me cry so much, Pasha. Oh my god.
It was a really good session for Pasha. Like well, I mean, it obviously wasn't, but for Callista's role playing.
Pasha's like catatonic. She's bleeding. Her baby has just been like, I was evil all along. Great session for her.
The role playing though, the role playing was great. I really enjoyed that.
Imagine how difficult it was for me role playing that beautiful scene between Daniel and Pasha, like, when they were talking to each other about his past and her past. How horribly difficult that was for me, knowing what I know is going to happen at the end of this session. Like, I knew that was going to happen. I had to play it. I had to play through it.
I will say that's the difference between you and me, Hark. You're like, oh my god, this is so horrible. If I were in your place, I would just be like, oh yeah. But that was such a good scene. Amazing, Callista. You're getting all the RPXP. I think we're all decided. Yeah.
There's a reason why his memories of the past was spotty, because Corypheus doesn't remember that.
Yeah.
All of that talk. I don't want to make Pasha doesn't know. She's supposed to let it know. But the whole thing about the crown, when he was like, part of the reason why he looked away, because he looked away from her when she was crying, is because he didn't want to show to her that he didn't have any empathy, any sympathy. He wasn't. He wanted to show. That's the reason why he looked away, because he wasn't really Daniel at that point. Yeah. And when she was showing him the crown stuff. This is, again, what's hurtful for me, maybe not so much for Dominic. When she was showing him the crown stuff, and he was saying that, I remember that. He was lying through his teeth. Lying through his teeth that he remembered.
I caught something you did, Hawk, just because, like I say, Hawk didn't tell us what was going to go down, but when Hawk asks you to get Daniel and Pasha alone, I had my, like, blinkers on. So,
especially considering they were already alone, so yeah.
Yeah. What? So Hawk said something, or Daniel said something in that scene, like, that little boy grew up and became, a happy and fulfilled man. Like, he was talking about himself in the third person, right? At one point,
right?
And
he grew up.
Exactly.
He was happy, and then I took over.
I was when I talked to Dandelion, because I was like, oh yeah, and then Darren's here, and he was very like non-carative about it.
He was. He was very oh, Darren's here, really? Like, he seemed very, oh, Darren's here, but he didn't do anything about it.
I was thinking, why hadn't Daniel gone to talk to Sir Garrison? Because Sir Garrison also knew Daniel from All
Or Darren.
And I was thinking, it more so because Darren was from like a while ago, but like he was friends with Sir Garrison a few years, like just a couple of years ago. And I was like, why hasn't there been oh, well, time constraints.
Yeah, like, I was actually, when I said oh before you continued on, Hark, I was about to say, how did Darren and Sir Garrison react to Daniel? But then I was just like, yeah, time constraints, probably fine.
Darren, the answer is Darren and Sir Garrison sought out Daniel. He didn't seek out them. So they caught up. So Corypheus, because he's in Daniel Lento's body, he knows some of his memories. He has it's very similar. I was alluding to this a little bit with there's a reason for my madness. I was alluding to this phenomenon with Audric.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes, because that was the reunion session when they woke up the Madman of Mazikale or whatever.
Right,
because they found all the bodies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I called it earlier in session 6 when I was like, hey, is this similar to what happened in the reunion? And Hark couldn't answer me.
I couldn't answer. Yeah. Correct.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So the themes are meant to be connecting. The stories are meant to connect.
Yeah, I mean, I immediately made the body swap connection. But yeah, because Audric remembered something. So,
Wait, does that mean that theoretically we could find Corypheus with Dandelion in him?
Another detail that I thought was interesting is this is the first time we heard anything about Pasha's parents or Pasha's dad.
Dad. We'll have to see next time. We'll have to see.
D'Artagnan apparently sealed the other Magisters apparently. How very Hawk-like.
Yeah, I was thinking of Malcolm Hawke.
Malcolm Hawke. Mm-hmm. But Malcolm Hawke, go ahead, is different. Like the stuff in this timeline is a little different now.
I had something I was going to say and I can't remember. God damn it! No.
Isabel, your mother. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. So yeah, Rousseau is connected to the plot because he's a scaled one. Tyrion because of the whole Slade connection to Venter. Leon because of the blood magic. Me because no shit, Sherlock. And Pasha because her father was the one who sealed all these guys. And then we're all connected to the chakras, which are 7 total, and there are 7 magisters. One of them is dead. There's 5 of us, 5 of them. There's still 1 though to unlock.
Wait, no, the magisters are all unlocked.
All there, yeah, because the architect betrayed.
Architect betrayed.
Architect isn't with them. Or is he?
Or is he? Oh, damn it. Maybe he's a ruse.
Really, season 2 made the wrong choice all those years ago.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if we're talking that, guys in Dragon Age Awakening made the wrong choice years ago, including me.
Anyway.
But yeah, these
lots of other interesting RPs though, also other than that.
Yeah, poor Kenna. Just everyone's talking, and then Kenna's like, "Oh, let's have a moment with Pasha," and Pasha's like, "Griffin."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest in that scene. So I want to talk about the scene. So when I was talking, like when Tyrion was afraid, I was literally shaking. I was here like just physically shaking hard. Yeah, and that was just not just me. Like that was I had like a reaction just happen. I was like, oh, I'm afraid. I have to be afraid, and I just started like freaking out. Yeah, it's the beauty of having a willpower 0 elf.
Oh no.
Yeah, it fits him. I mean, his body may be healed, but his mind ain't.
I'll let you know a secret. That's 1 more than Theo has in willpower.
No wonder he got possessed so easy.
Yeah.
It was the one stat I never bumped anything into, basically, when I was running in season 2. It just didn't make sense for his character.
Yeah, but
So, now we know never imbue Tyrion with taint power. It's not gonna work.
Oh, I knew that before. Also,
he's afraid. Yeah, but that was a cool scene to have with Kenna, and that was unexpected. Just like, wait, what? Do you know for?
Also, speaking of Kenna, let's talk about Kenna's child.
Ooh.
Oh, green fist.
Green, yeah.
I guess
Maybe,
like force magic.
Force magic,
maybe because you keep
Yeah.
coming into contact with, the green lyrium that maybe it got leached in.
Oh, don't say that. No.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that at first because of the reunion session. I was like, oh no way, it's doing powers. We're saved.
I mean, like in the yeah, that makes sense. My initial thought was Breach because Breach is green, but green lyrium and yeah, wasn't the reunion session? Yeah. You got a green lyrium, baby.
Oh no, I do not.
Yeah.
Or
pretty
maybe
sure
it's forest powers. You've used
It's
a lot of forest magic.
Maybe it's Fist the Maker. Probably it is.
I mean, the green lyrium could be good. Maybe the mutated darkspawn just misunderstood. They just want donuts. Like that's what they want.
Oh God, Kenna and here is my child, and it's just a little spider baby. Just
Oh, shut up! Oh my God, no!
No, that'd be super unruly.
She looks hideous, but we love her. Don't mock the spider baby.
See, it's people like you that just judge.
Am I allowed to tell them what happened between us, Hark? The
Sure,
whole
if you'd
really wants
like.
that to be. She has seen that before. Then that magic. Yep.
Oh yeah. I think I might know. A little bit.
She
maybe
has
not.
or has not?
Has.
Well, actually, I'm thinking about. Wasn't there similar green? Oh, but we didn't see it. I wonder.
Gotta do a blood man.
Here's another tinfoil hat theory. Or not another theory. I need to remember this. In the session where we had Andrea, didn't Andrea's little daughter, the mage daughter, cast something that was a bright green light?
That was healing magic, but
Yeah.
maybe
but
Hark's hinting. Yeah.
maybe it's connected to somehow. Never know when
Yeah.
Hark's connected.
Children of Guardians get to be like quadruple power. Duh.
Quadruple power.
They're stronger.
Stronger.
Also, considering that our bosses, our boss battles are 5 mages. No, yeah, 6 mages. Everybody invest in willpower.
God, you had to give a good reason how you can trade to Tyrion.
Like everybody better invest in willpower, man, because we
I might
need
not
it.
actually, because I need to learn how to do I'm going to be learning acupuncture now.
True.
Now we got better cunning.
I guess I gotta go to the end of the glyph tree for the absorb magic.
Also, that's fucking good. It's so cool that Balm just came in like up to hey Tyrion, you want to know how to do acupuncture? And I was like, what?
Well, remember when you were asking me, oh yeah, Tyrion hasn't been doing enough doctory things, and I'm like, I'm planning on it, Skull. Like it's coming, but you're gonna be doing a lot of doctoring with people soon. Once you find Bomb.
That was also teased when I went to Violetta and asked, like, how do I better understand this thing happening to me?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start going into spirit more, so I can get some dispel magic stuff, because I think we're gonna need it.
I did love when Balm rushed in at the end and just wait, I'm a Seuss. I'm like, yeah. Yes.
So I actually wonder if Theoben and maybe Tyrion have a talk with the PTSD, if that might come up maybe.
Yeah, well, as I said, I was planning on Theoben talking to Tyrion anyway. So now it actually worked out really well that Theoben and Tyrion ended up together in that last scene, because now it's going to be at least starting with I'm sorry I tried to kill you.
Yeah.
I think the scene's gonna be actually maybe Tyrion goes up to you and like we both came up like by accident. And we just have like that talk of like we tried to say sorry, but we interrupt each other by accident.
Yeah.
My bad.
We're sorry. Oh, okay.
So sorry.
I'm so sorry for doing that. So maybe there might be a psychology talk, maybe.
Yeah, it could be really interesting because I think, whilst a lot of Theoben's scenes today were very personal, I think, there's a lot of kind of shop talk I think Theoben wants to do with Tyrion. So I think that should be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe Tyrion might share more of his.
Hey.
We'll see.
Pasha's got a new toy.
Yes.
I was so happy when you mentioned something in your warm-up about how Pasha secretly always wanted horns. And this was long after I had thought about the Golden Hala, and when you mentioned that, I was like, aha, I know what I could have Athon do. Aha.
Pasha is very grateful. Admittedly, now I think she's also like, I wonder, like, so many people always said they had problems putting shirts on with that. Like, I'm gonna try and do that.
That's why I only wear button-ups. They have to like go around.
I also like how
Go ahead.
Pasha keeps getting more and more magic stuff. And she's like, it's okay. It's all natural magic. It's cage-free magic. It's 100% organic magic.
I've been trying... Go ahead.
I was thinking we need to have a vegan magic ad going on. Like it's
It's a focus now. Vegan magic. It's a focus.
I've been trying to be very equal with people getting like extra toys and stuff because Pasha hadn't really gotten anything for a while because Leon got the nifty staff really early on, like the Blood Mage staff, and then Objection went to Rousseau, and then for Daretham, not only did he get his amulet, the amulet, but he also got the nice silk scarf thing from Darren. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, Tyrion's got a sniper rifle, among other things, and now he's about to get some really cool stuff with acupuncture. Yeah. So Pasha, I felt like hadn't gotten anything for a while, and so that's why Pasha's been getting a lot of stuff lately, just to balance everybody out. And now I'm going back because I think Rousseau hasn't really been getting much, which is why I've been alluding that something is going to unlock within him if you try to continue doing acupuncture on him. I mean, so something for Rousseau might be coming along his way.
Actually, I actually want to do something eventually. I'm having this theory. This might happen next time to Theo, but maybe I throw a needle acupuncture.
That's what I'm saying. You just hiss and kind of, but thanks.
But it's the one kind of massage Theoben hasn't tried yet.
It's either that or just running up and stunning him because I'm a dirty fighter. So
no, it's Theoben's all like, oh, broody, eggs. I'm not sure I'm ready to date again. I'm just like, all aboard the shipping train. All right, you've made your peace, man. Now go get some.
Well, who knows? We might get #Tirobin.
Yes.
Tyrion is our Japanese anime boy, apparently.
No.
He keeps getting shipped with everyone.
I mean, he knows acupuncture now. He saw a very interesting scene last session, which I won't mention. Everyone loves him. I don't know.
I'm telling you, if Barm starts teaching Tyrion about masseuse stuff, she, at this point, her image of Tyrion being like, oh, he's the sexy kind of Tamaz-Ran. Of course, that will solidify. She will be directing everyone to him like, oh, pheromones, go see Tyrion. He'll sort you out.
Oh, Pasha dipping Athon. Love the little touch there.
Finally, a romance.
Took half the campaign.
I feel like that counts a little bit more than Rosie and Leon because a kiss was actually involved, like an actual legit kiss.
Yeah,
so.
I think that scene was so perfectly Pasha because you see it a lot in these games with the romances. It's kind of awkward, and they're like, should I? It's all kind of nervous, and Pasha's just like, I'm going for it. Like, I'm going to kiss that guy, and it was really well done.
I need that to be my next Christmas ornament. Perfectly Pasha. It's perfectly Pasha.
I like how in both her regular life and her love life, Pasha just slams open the door and just goes for it.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't even get to talk much to Pasha because the second I said Lenta, she was like, I'm off.
That's what Pasha do. Pasha goes for her goals, and right now her goal is possessed by an ancient darkspawn.
Now someone needs to comfort her.
No, Pasha's not giving up. Daniel is still out there. Possession might be reversible. Pasha doesn't know.
I mean, based on the body swap, I think it is correct that somewhere there is a Corypheus body with a dandelion mind inside.
Then that is Pasha's goal. Just running around the deep roads going, Dandelion!
Maybe
Dandelion!
Corypheus knows how to do the same thing that what's his name?
Ordonez.
Ordonez.
Oh yeah, the Archon.
That's what I mean. I'm pretty darn positive.
Probably where the Archon got the spell.
Exactly. Like, he probably looked up ancient Teventer records and stuff, which were Corypheus's notes, and Corypheus just showed up and just like, do it.
Well, no,
okay.
the madman of Yazikale was sitting down in the bottom of the necropolis for who knows how long. Redonis's lair was also there.
Yeah.
It's way too easy of a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good tinfoil hat theory.
Oh, wait. When would...
Who knows who all they have staged? Because there was also something up with Antona as well that we never really figured out.
So, I want to ask the same question to both our guest players here that I asked both Andrea and Kevin in the last in the vlog we did with them. So, Hannah and Sam, you guys just came back from playing with your characters again. How did it feel like getting back to their characters you haven't played in a long time, or at least a long while back?
Oh my gosh. I think, I don't know, it felt natural, especially when we started off and we did the competition immediately, like right out of the bat. Like, I got here first. I don't know, it felt like, it just felt natural. It was really good though. I love Kenna. She's a lot of fun. And I miss Theo too. He's so insightful. I don't know. I loved it. I loved it a lot.
Yeah, I think same, definitely. I mean, like that was kind of part of the reason that I wanted to start the session on a joke, and I wanted to have that kind of, oh, you beat me kind of thing, because I just feel like that competitiveness pretty much perfectly encapsulates Kenna and Theo's relationship, and I was really excited to get to come back in a session with Sam and to kind of bring that back, because as much as like everything's obviously changed for the Guardians, I feel like their relationships are probably still the same as they ever were. So it was nice to show that. For bringing Theo back, it was a little bit hard, and the reason being that I realized when I realized I was coming back and I had to kind of think about Theoben and where he is in life, it was actually kind of sad. I thought about it, and Rosie's growing up and she's doing her own things, and he's realizing that he can't kind of live his entire life for her. And, he's obviously got a lot of heartbreak from the last session that he's holding on to. And I think it does make it worse that Halaser's soul is still out there. She hasn't just died. She's still technically there in a form. So I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this is a really quite a sad character to play at the moment. So I kind of had to work on like how to still put forward those sides of Theoben that aren't so depressing, that he's still kind of him, but also show that he has actually been through a lot and he's still dealing with the after effects of a lot of the things that have happened to him. So that was interesting, and that's also why I spoke to Hark kind of beforehand in the session. I was quite eager to do that to make sure that that Hark and I could kind of brainstorm as to what we would reasonably have time to do in session. So,
and the irony is for Theoben, I would say out of all of the Guardians, Theoben seems to be externally at least the best, like well off. Like he's living a life of luxury right now. Like he's being pampered left and right. He's got his maids and butlers and these he's living the cushiest, I would say, even more so than Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
He's living cushier than Andrea, and yet there's all this internal stuff going on with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it just goes to show, doesn't it? Like, he's not really got anybody to share all that with, and I think that's probably starting to affect him more so since Rosie's kind of been traveling with the party.
Mm-hmm. Oh, on that note, Hewobin? Yes, I'm for it.
Well,
we talked about it.
We did talk about it because when I told Hark, I gave Hark advance notice that Theoben was going to be kind of coming out as bisexual, because I think that's something that, as it's kind of been there in little pieces, but it's something that I felt was important that Theoben kind of admitted to himself. So I wanted to do the coming out, and Hark was pretty much the same as you, Dominic. He was like, Hugh?
Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah, Theoben is attracted to Hugh, but it didn't sound like, from what Hark told me, that Hugh would be making an appearance in the session, so I didn't really kind of think much of it at the point, but hey, who knows?
Thank you for the question, guys.
Hugh may not be in the session, but you see Hugh relatively often. He's at the breach. He lives at the breach.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you can headcanon what you want at this point.
So that means the party has to get in there quick to swoop you away. Just like the party romance choice has been approved. We're all romancing you.
Yeah, thanks for answering that, you guys.
No problem.
I like this very short conversation between the two circle mages.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool.
That was interesting.
I think,
Yeah, I'd like to talk more about it, but there was a lot going on in Leon's mind. He was just a little frazzled, especially with going into the deep roads, and Rosie and Theoben being there. On his mind was romance and control. But I would like to talk more about how Caleb is doing now that he's out of the circle, and how that has changed his outlook. Because
Connor, you mean?
Oh, Connor, yeah. Because he's doing fine and dandy.
He is. He's doing fine, and
got a wife.
I think he's
way.
I think he's trying to I think he's trying to share with you his personal experience, because I think you basically and him have a lot of similarities with this campaign versus last campaign. I think one thing I wanted to ask, because I don't think this was ever clear. Kenna, did you ever, even later, tell Connor that initially you were going to turn him away? That you initially were not going to pursue anything, or did you just keep that to yourself?
No, that was me.
Or that was you. That was not necessarily Kenna.
That was player realizing that the character had different intentions.
Gotcha. Okay.
Such a weird moment.
That was a weird moment. I was so ready to be heartbroken, and then you were like, "Oh, okay, I'll go with this." Out of character. I don't know what Sam's doing, but okay.
No, it was weird. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to ask Leon? Well, no, I don't. I want to ask Sam, not the character. How you felt the conversation between Leon and Theoben was, because I'm conscious that Theoben was throwing a lot of shade towards you, and obviously me, player Hannah, I think you're great, but I'm conscious that Theoben was pretty full on. So, how was that scene for you and for Leon as well, I guess?
So as a player, I was like, wow, this is pretty softball. Expecting more what are your intentions? Here's my shotgun, sort of moment. But it played out really well, and I think it went better than I expected, and better than Leon expected, way better than Leon expected. And I did the little tests, what's this? What's that? And then Leon is very confused with what he wants to do, especially with the blood magic, because he's worried because one of the main things about blood magic is using blood and maybe taking a life. So if that were to come to life, to light, how would Rosie react? Which, from what we see with the book, she's very apprehensive of it, rightfully so, especially because, he would have told me,
Oh,
So,
that was such a great heartbreak moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that next session, and I'm looking forward to more Theobin being like, "Yo, what is this?"
Yeah, I think if Theobin finds out what that is, it won't be softball.
Oh no, 100% no.
I think there'll be a very different version of that scene if that happens.
Oh, 100%. I'm expecting the full Inquisition to come after him.
Yeah, and he probably won't lie about what's in the cup.
But at least Leon knows. At least Theo. I don't know if Theobin will see this, but Leon never technically lied. Never technically lied to Theobin. He was very upfront about, I'm into things, and I don't know if I don't want to taint Rosie about it. And
it's technically true. Like blood magic is only going to be for him unless you want to mind of Rosie.
It's whether or not he feels that future is a particularly safe one for Rosie. Because whilst it's not his decision, he can have a very strong objection to a future that has blood magic in it. I mean, he was in the same party as Cedric, so he's not exactly been shown a kind of nice side of blood magic. So I think from his point of view, and I think because Leon wasn't straight with him or Rosie about it, I think that puts him in a very dim light to
100%.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing. The only thing that's not straight is he just never told about it. So technically, he's not lying. He just keeps it secret.
Well, honey, you didn't ask if I was cheating.
Okay.
Yes. No, you have a point there, but it's not like something you say.
I want to ask Tommy then, when you were deciding whether to show the book to Rosie or not, what ultimately made you decide what you decided to do?
It's pretty much that Russo couldn't comprehend most anything in the book, so he wasn't like, okay, I'm showing Taboo. It's like, this is just one of Leon's journals, maybe like something to be like, blood magic's evil, it's just in a language I don't know. And we've seen Russo many of times before when he's unsure of stuff, he'll either basically say yes to that person or he'll just bury it down. And with everything that's happened with Andrea, Cedric, and everything, he wants to do less of that, so that's why he was like, well, I can't say this is evil. What do you think it is?
Yeah. Well, Leon, you're going to be in hot water soon.
I'm telling you, if Leon plays it off like, no, these are my family's diagrams, nothing evil in the slightest, just some heavy kink, I reckon he could get away with it.
Unfortunately, Pasha, some of us know the truth, and some of us don't lie much. Hello.
Yeah, Tyrion already knows. So
Russo's not going to give the book back to Leon until he's sure of what it is entirely. That much I've decided.
I want Russo to approach Leon and say, Mr. Faust, I give you Exhibit A.
How does thy plead?
How does thy plead?
Is this the trial of Leon?
Yes.
Leon's
the people versus Leon Faust.
And I will be honest. Oh,
Go.
I can wait. All right. I was gonna say if he's approached with the question like, is he doing blood magic? I think Tyrion would just like, if he's gonna wait, he will say yes, he is, but not in the way you're thinking, because he doesn't lie. Tyrion doesn't want to lie on, like, even if he's gonna f his friend, it's just he can't lie. He doesn't want to lie.
So the next session is just going to be another trial.
Trial number 2.
Yeah, that's an if. It depends on sentencing, wording, and the situation. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing will be interesting if Daretham is a part of that, because right now he's with Pasha, but if he's able to get in on the trial thing and be like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? He could kind of give his perspective of, I was in the prime time of blood magic and I don't think it's evil, kind of thing.
You're all in that area, man. I'm joining inside Leon also, sort of, if that happens. I mean, it's
so it'd be very interesting to get, like, I would adore to see, like in a fantasy sort of situation, Daretham and Cedric argue about blood magic. That'd be really, really cool.
I don't think words would be used.
Daretham would use
I don't think
words.
there would be. You could say a few things, but I don't think
You better have that paralyzed, like ready to just be a character. So I didn't get to say this when we were talking about Halaster's soul and everything, but the small scene with Violetta, Balin, and Kenna, even though Russo wasn't there, I felt like that was a really hard moment for Russo. Simply because since he's come clean about everything, Russo's pretty much like really wanted to talk to Balin, but he's pretty much been told by everyone and knows that he has to leave him alone and let him come to his own conclusions about it. So it was kind of hard for me as a player not to interject Russo into that scene because deep down I feel Russo doesn't want Balin to have like a shifted view on what happens there. Like he doesn't want him to be persuaded one way or the other. That's why he wanted to wait till he was of age so he could tell him he make his own decision. And in Russo's mind, the best decision that could have happened was he leaves him, he's happy, he does his own thing, then Russo just kind of works and rots away into a hole till he's dead. So he's been dealing with a lot of conflicted stuff since that happened.
Yeah.
I feel so badly for Russo.
Yeah, it will be interesting if Russo like manages to like just speak both Kenna and Theoben say to him about Balin.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that scene.
Yeah, and I hope that does happen. So.
Yeah, that was a difficult scene to play because it's very hard when there's a child NPC in any scene to be a dick, because the Balin's a very sweet kid, but I suppose from Theo's point of view, I guess I thought to myself, okay, if I loved somebody and I knew that they were inside someone else, but I couldn't talk to them, like I couldn't hold them, I could they were out of reach, but they're there. I think that would be frustrating. And I think it does, I think Hark summed it up perfectly. It lacks closure. He neither gets to say that Halaster is buried and resting, nor is she there. And so that was really hard for Theo to come to terms with. I don't think he has come to terms with it yet, but it's not Balin's fault, and it was kind of a difficult scene because I didn't want Theoben to just come outright mean to the kid, but obviously it does stir up some unfinished business for him.
Yeah, you played that really well, Hannah.
The best way I would describe it for myself, being a Doctor Who fan, it's a lot like when the Doctor regenerates. Because he's still the same person, but he's not the same person anymore. Mm-hmm. And you naturally, for people who follow that show, you naturally grow an attachment to a specific Doctor or not. And then when the Doctor leaves and a new one takes their place, it's like, but I was still attached to the last one. Or
I don't
now
it's
you, but it's not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also, it was a smaller scene, but I liked Theoben and Daretham just talking, bonding over tragedy.
Yeah, I really liked that too. Although, I was kind of, and this is no shade to the other Guardians. When I watched the thing with Cedric and Andrea, and Daretham was like, he had that revelation, like, I don't have to murder them. I was like, no, I wanted to have that scene. It was when you first kind of got the position, and you were talking about, Daretham and Theoben would have so much to talk about, and I think Theoben could really help him. And I had so much stuff planned for that and stuff. So when Theoben was like, I'm supposed to say some wisdom here, I don't know what to say. It's because Hannah had to throw all that out when you had the scene with Andrea and Cedric. I had to get rid of it all because you'd already had the development. So so that was why it was a little bit more kind of chill and like, yeah, life sucks.
Yeah, it's interesting because like now Daretham it's mostly just small steps of solidifying, and it's like figuring out his new life kind of thing rather than always living in the past. So it kind of felt like that was a smaller scene than it would have been. It would have been so cool to have Theoben be the person who did that. But even still, to now have him slowly start to be like, okay, like that. If anything, that conversation I think gave him for him a sense of closure of like, yeah, I'm solid on these things now. Okay, now I can figure out how to move forward.
So there, some arms race for whoever gets Darren.
You're on, Tyrion.
I'm joking, of course.
You're on.